everyone? Okay, first of all, I want to start by observing protocol. I want to recognize the presence of distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I want to also recognize our prof, a professor of estate management. Please, let's celebrate him. It's not easy. Okay, I also want to recognize every other dignitary here present. The Secretary General of SUG. This is a very, very wonderful event. Usually in Nigeria, what we have are politicians. We don't have leaders in Nigeria. And a politician is one who sees leadership as business. But for him to put together this kind of a program, invite speakers to teach students how to upscale, how to become more excellent, how to maximize opportunities better, I think it deserves a very big round of applause. Please, let's clap. Let's clap. Yes. The average student leader in Nigeria is more concerned about entertaining events, about outings and fun, than they are about events that will really increase the intellectual capacity of students. I don't know if my slide is ready, but if it is not, I can write down that. There is a particular one that is very important and having now because I want everybody to see it visually. So my name is Egwuchika, Tochukwu, and I am very passionate about young people. I myself, I am young, and we exist in this Nigerian reality where it seems as though whatever you do, it seems not to be enough. So a medical doctor is studying medicine and surgery, cracking his head, doing night classes, and yet he's still being told to learn skills. And then after learning one skill or the other, he's still being told that he needs to start a business. Whereas, if you go to a working society, a working system, you would see that a person who is a might even be receiving salary just by virtue of being a student. So most Nigerian youths fall into this trap of thinking that they are not doing enough. They fall into the trap of exhaustion. They fall into the trap of thinking that there are too many things to be done and they are not doing anything, not realizing that they just happen to be in a dysfunctional system. A dysfunctional system is real. However, we cannot use a dysfunctional system as an excuse for mediocrity. We cannot use a dysfunctional system as an excuse to remain down. So when you succeed as a Nigerian, hope you know that the odds against Aliko Dangote succeeding are greater than the odds against maybe Bill Gates succeeding or Elon Musk succeeding. Most of them came from environments where the country is ready to give you $2 million as loan, to give you $3 million as loan. If this young man walks to the bank and asks for $2 million, EFCC will arrive at the venue immediately, no matter what he has to show. So when you happen to be in a dysfunctional system, there are skills, there are mindsets, there are mentalities, there is a character you need to be able to outwit that system. And so I will be talking on a topic, connecting the dots, outwitting the flaws of the academic system. There is no system of man that is not flawed. As long as that system was designed by man, there is inherent flaw in every system designed by man. But today, we are going to be talking about how to outwit the flaws of the academic system. You were born, let's say 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 40 years ago. Before you could realize what was happening, you found yourself in school with classmates. Then you are hearing A is for apple, B is for ball, C is for cat. Before you could realize you are in junior class, they are now telling you to choose between science and art. You don't even know what is going on. You say, okay, I don't like science, I don't like maths, I don't like physics. Okay, let me go for arts. Some people are like, I want to be a pharmacist, I want to be a doctor. And the very fact that you are present in this campus now shows that it didn't work out. Because otherwise, you would have been in Colombia. Or maybe some people came from there. Now I'm going somewhere, please follow me. And then suddenly, you find yourself in a department, maybe engineering. And then you study night class, back to back, night class, and then you come out with a pretty good result. And you look around, you see that the people that seem wealthy around you, influential around you, to have political power around you, didn't go through the route you went through. They are now wondering whether this academics you went through is a scam. Is it that this school that went through is unnecessary? Because when you come out, you look at someone who is the system, having power, having influence, having wealth. It has a way of making you think that the academics you went through is a scam. It has a way of making you think that the school you went through is a scam. So what I'm here to do today is to show balance of this particular equation. How this equation fits together. Hope you know that some of the people you envy, who didn't go to academic labs, are simply people who are audacious of what they are doing. For example, there is a very fantastic program called prayer. Some people here who may want to slightly, oppose me, criticize me, and not as audacious as he is. Even though you know them, you know a lot, you have a lot of inspiration in your head, you can teach people maths, point out of the you know all the theories of computer science, but you're not audacious in having the business. There are people who intellectual excellence has a definition of what to make you feel proud. Just because you know does not mean you can do. You can be a master in the knowledge of computer science. You cannot program a simple website. So those two things are different. But these people you see expressing wealth, power, influence, they are audacious in what they are doing. Now imagine if you are audacious with the intellectual excellence that you will have a lot of things tied to your name. A man like Elon Musk is a product of intellect. Have you seen his speech before? Very sound intellectual. He has a PhD in physics and a PhD in economics. Combining it with audacity, his vision is to take Earth to the moon. That is his vision. Imagine that kind of a vision combined with that intellectual engine. That is why he's making the impact he's making. But many people, you just sit around in class to graduate with a result and you're expecting somebody to give you a job, a human being like you. It's a human being like you. At some point, you have to realize that these people are human beings like you. I'm a human being like you. Everybody sitting here is a human being like you. Elon Musk is a human being like you. But the fear of, I don't want to start. What if I fail? What if I don't do well? Come on. Nobody wrote the script of life that everybody prospers through job. In fact, there are very few people who are well through jobs. Very few people. Very few people. So let me start with my talk now. That was just an introduction. The journey of life must begin for you from the destination. The journey of life begins from the destination. You might be like, how can a journey begin from the destination? Is there any journey that does not start from the destination? The journey of building this building, hope you know it started from the destination. They designed the architecture of this building. Based on that design, that is what determines the amount of time it will take to complete this house. That is what determines the materials used to complete this house. The same way in your life, you have to know, why am I doing this? Why are you in school? Why are you in class? It will surprise you to know that 95% of people here don't even know why they are in school. They think they know, but they don't. They don't. Why don't they don't? Because it does not show in the results. By results, I don't mean your school results. That's part of it. But it does not show in your life, in the results. And so you know what I mean by results. It is very important to start the journey of life from the destination. So what is the destination of my life? Why am I in school? Why am I reading? Why am I studying? Why are we learning skills up and down? Are these just scattered dots? No. These dots are all connected together. And the end goal of everything you are doing, please listen to me very carefully, because I think my session is about 40 minutes, and I'll try my best. I apologize that I'm talking fast, okay? But maybe after, I think you can get things online, maybe on YouTube. You can also watch it afterwards, or maybe jot or something. Okay? So there are two end goals of every single thing you are doing. Number one, many people in Nigeria have already failed on that, especially our politicians. Number one is you should never be a problem to society. That is the first end goal of everything you are going through. If you are in school, if you are at home, if you are in church, if you are in mosque, anywhere you happen to be, the claim number one is that you are not a problem to the society by causing mayhem, stealing, killing, destruction, deception, corruption, and all of those things. That is the first end goal of whatever they are doing. So if you go through school, and at the end of your school, you are a problem to society, you are not educated. If you go through church or family, and at the end of the day, you are, representing a wrong, creating problem in the society, you are not educated. No matter if your result is 4.95 CGPA, and you design a weapon that kills people, you are not educated. The first end goal of whatever you are doing, reading, studying, the end goal is that it must end in number one, you not being a problem to society. That's the first. Now for most people here who are from moral backgrounds, spiritual backgrounds, I'm a Christian, I believe in Jesus, this number one will not be a problem to you. For most people, even if you see somebody's $1,000 here, you won't pick it. Why is she smiling? There's suspect. So for most people, due to their moral training and all, they would, number one is not a problem. But number two is where we miss it. The end goal. So some people think the end goal is to get certificate. Now you have the certificate. The world does not recognize you beyond having that certificate. Why? Because you are not providing the end goal. You think the end goal is just to pass the exams. Now you have passed the exams. And then you see somebody who didn't go through the rigor you went through, but is producing those end goals, and society is recognizing that person. Society is favoring that person, paying that person because of those end goals. And it is very sad that our academic system was optimized in a way that you can think you are ultimate just because you can read, write, and remember. No. There is nothing in this world that was built just by reading, writing, and remembering. Not this house, not this mic, not this phone. Even though it has a very big role to play in it, but there is a deeper truth to it. So what is the second destination? The second destination. Hope we are together. Please don't be distracted. The second destination is solving problems or creating solutions. This is very, very important. Many people here have a student mentality. I am still in school. Your Sec-Gen is a student like you. He is still in school. Do you think you have more potential to be governor of this state than him? No. Why? Because he knows he's still a student, but he's not limiting himself to just that. He's stepping out to create solutions in the society he has found himself. It could be your class or anywhere, but the second is creating solutions. Solutions are dimensional in different areas. It could be in agriculture, it could be in health, it could be in technology, it could be in healthcare, it could be in family, it could be in education, it could be in finance, entertainment, different industries. In fact, what should inform the course you study in the university should be towards the end goal of where you want to create solutions. But today, jam some people into where they did not imagine. However, if you have an end goal in mind, even if you enter a bus, you are going to Abuja, and then you miss road, jam took you to Kaduna, you can still reroute to Abuja because there's an end goal in mind. You don't need to study medicine and surgery to be the most impactful person in the healthcare sector. You don't need to. But because we have this fix in our mind, the system has given you a fix. Break out of that fix. There is no equation anywhere. There is no formula. There is no. You can chart your own course with that end goal in mind. Like for example, me, one of the things I want to do is that I want to restore the flavor of education. Now, that I didn't study education, but I am a phenomenal teacher. You don't need to study education to be the best teacher. You don't need to study medicine to be the best in the healthcare sector. But you may need to do some deeper work, which is where the solutions I'm going to bring the concept. Solution in all those areas. Now, these solutions can be in different forms. It could be an invention that is creating a new way of doing something, right? It could be an innovation. It could be a product. It could be a service. It could be teaching. Hope you know that if you learn something in class and you teach your classmates, you are now a solution provider. They will perform better than they would have had you not taught them. Which means that you are now making some sense of impact. But anything you do that does not express itself in these solutions is almost wasted. It could be social change. I'm speaking to you now. I'm creating solutions. My certificate is somewhere, but it's not the certificate that is doing what I'm doing now. This is solution. This is the end goal. So anything you are doing, as long as it has not ended in solutions, invention, innovation, product, services, teaching, inspiration, social change, research, as long as you have not ended in those things, you have not started the journey. Even if your result is showing 5.0, you have not started the journey. It's part of the journey, but you have not started the journey. This is very, very important. So for you to create solutions, there are some things. There are some solutions anybody can create. And that is why also we say this is like a very much. Thank you very much. When somebody says something like, I studied differentiation in university. I studied integration. I don't know where I science in do maths. Any kind of math, basic math. people graduate from school and they're like, I studied public in school and I've never used it since I graduated. Some people will say, I studied secondary school, I've never used it since I graduated. You ought to be crying. You ought to be crying. Because that work is the foundation, not just the foundation. It is what Japanese and Chinese are using to make things like this fine. The reason you are not using it is because your country, your system, did not give you a platform to use it. That is to tell you where you are. Probably Nigeria is taking 1960 or 1972. That is why you are not using everything. Why you are not using differentiation. Look at that equation on the screen. When some people, they already have a headache. Because of this equation. Please, don't have headache from equations. I can't commit to the name. Look at that equation. This is what happens each time you make a phone call. Now, some people use this to improve phone calls, the noise, remove background noise from the phone call and all of that. But because you are in a system where you are not given the platform to practice those things, you will study a computer engineering and working in the bank, balancing what a secondary school student can do, and be complaining about this. This is not the problem. The problem is the system. This is very, very, very important. I need you to understand that every single thing you have learned in school is useful, but you are not just given the platform to use it. And something you should cry about. You should cry about. Most of the things people call jobs that they do today is something a secondary school leaver can do if we're trained. So does it mean your degree was 9 years? Of course not. Of course not. We will outwit the system today. We will outwit the system today. So these things are very, very important. So there is a gap between where you are now and the kind of solutions you can create. For example, let me give you a range. Who can maybe the next thing is design a battery for us. My phone battery lasts probably about, let's say, 8 hours or so, 7 hours or do that. Is there anybody here that can design a battery that lasts for 1 month without charging? Who needs to charge it? 1 month. Anybody? Anybody? Nobody. Now, what is the gap between you and being able to do that? And it's a very large gap. One of the gaps is that you have to understand and know how batteries work. You have to understand and know about energy, about chemistry, about chemicals, about power engineering. In fact, give me the next equation. Give me the previous one. Go back a bit. There is a one with N1 over N2, one about transformers. You have to understand those things. How else are you going to understand it if you are not taught? How else are you going to understand it if you don't learn? So if we Nigerian youths decide that we are going to go through the route of cheap productivity, the right of the yardstick, go through cheap productivity or go through ways of creating problems to make wealth, in the next 50 years, who will be designing these things? Who will be making these things? That means we'll be importing everything and we'll keep importing. Very soon you'll be importing mechanics too. When you do the mechanic, you go to charge and call the mechanic to come and fix your car. So there is a need for us to become solution creators. And one of the things you need, like I've said, is you need to know that thing, understand it. And academics is one thing that gives you a platform for structured knowledge and understanding in a particular area. So if I'm studying medicine and surgery, I am getting structured knowledge, structured understanding about the human body, about healthcare. Not so that I'll come out and say I'm a medical doctor. No. Not so that I'll come out and no. To the end that you invent, that you innovate, that you provide a service, that you inspire, that you teach. A proper doctor is a medical doctor, but he's more impactful than most people that are just in medicine, and they are not researching or doing other solutions. I'm not downplaying any solution. In fact, personally, I believe if you are to rank solutions, we rank invention, innovation, and research ahead of most others. So research is very, very important, but many young Nigerians don't even know what research is. It's all right. So that is intellect. Intellect is foundational to your solution. The reason you cannot design that battery is because that's intellect. I can attempt it, but you cannot attempt it. Why? That's intellect gap. So that is why you go to school. So most people here are students. So I'm just going to be giving you a few keys on how to do well academically, and then I will now round up my talk. So the first thing is intellect. So some keys to excelling academically. Number one, decide to excel. You know, it is interesting that people now see wisdom as motivational talk. You know, when the moment I said decide to excel, someone will be like, not them. Conspire to inspire the future. Let me tell you something. Those things motivational speakers say, if you embody it, you will succeed. But you have blocked your mind to become used to those statements that when they say envision your future or envision your vision, you think it's a joke. It's not a joke. That is what keeps you steady even when circumstances and storms and all hit your life. Let's proceed. Number one, decide to excel. You have to make a decision that you want to excel academically. Irrespective of whatever challenge you might be passing through or what you have faced before, decide to excel. Decision is not wish. Decision is not just desire. What is decision? Decision is wanting to desire to excel, backed up with the willingness to do whatever it takes to excel. Secondly, set a healthy standard for academic excellence. Set a healthy standard for academic excellence. For some people here, okay, are you serious? Okay, that's interesting. You know, I've been here for many hours. So let's round up. So set a healthy standard for academic excellence. For some people here, C is excellent, D is excellent. Some people here will get a D and they are happy. You get a B, you are happy. Some people here want to be crying. If you get nice, you cry. It's not nice. It is not right. It is a mindset that trying to be ingrained in yourself. That does not mean you are falling behind the No. My point is that you have to set a healthy standard for excellence. The third one, you are already talking about time. How do you go to this tonight? I think 2 minutes is. You should have like 5 minutes. Okay, so I have 5 minutes now. So I'm going to say what you want to use 5 minutes. So the next thing is you have to adopt a growth mindset. No matter the level you are now, you can do better. You can excel beyond the level you are excelling now. Don't let past failures define you. The fact that you didn't get any A last semester does not mean you are not getting this semester. When you are learning to walk, you fell down a lot of times, but you kept trying. That try that is very important. The next thing is that you have to read to understand, not just to remember, not just for exams. You know why? Because of the end goal. The end goal is solutions, innovation, invention. So you cannot just read to remember for exams. Okay, what of when you are needed to create a solution? They bring a computer before you and a computer engineer and say, last time God taught us around. What does that mean? You need to understand, you need to understand. And one of the things I recommend for understanding is either get someone to teach you or learn that concept from different sources. That's what I did when I was a student. For a particular course, let's say circuit theory or something, I can watch like 50 people from it. When you do that, you become one with the subject matter. When any question they ask you look like a baby question. Now, for some people, it may not be as easy as I'm saying it, okay? But I'm trying to shift your mind to see that it is very, very possible. Now, the next key I will give you, which is very important, is associate writing. See, this is the one secret and shortcut to scaling academics. Associate writing. It's not moving with people that will tell you how to stay with this stage. No, move with the smart ones, move with the brilliant ones, move with the serious ones. This alone can shift. You will see the remarkable difference between this semester result and last semester result. Most of the people who, one of my classmates sent me a message, some Moses was that application, that he got his first 5.0 in the semester because of the teachings I was giving for them. Because obviously then, I thought almost all the courses were offered. Full 90 classes, back to back, 10 hours class, 6 hours class, 7 hours class. And they were showing up, and they excelled well. So if you are here and you have that intellect as a gift, as a grace, use it to create solutions. That's why it was given to you, not just for you alone. So associate writing. Associate writing. And then the last key for that is practice recall. Any study technique you are using that you don't think, you don't maybe quiz yourself, ask yourself questions to retrieve those information is an inferior study technique. There is no learning without recalling it back. Putting information in your head and repeating it out are two different processes. So you have to make sure that after studying, practice recall. Maybe the past question, maybe someone will visit you and all of that. Now, having said all of this, with intellect alone, your impact is limited. Your solution is limited. So, I'm a computer engineering graduate. I know the computer architecture, all the logic gates, all the mathematical equations. But without skills, it will
will not appear in the real world. Skills is like a tap that enables that intellect inside you to come out to the outside world. Skills like technical skills, maybe programming, coding, depending on your field. Skills like communication skills. Being able to speak this way is not as important to my intellect alone. No. But the intellect makes whatever I say sound high, superior, premium. But the communication itself is a skill. Communication, relationship skills. Some people say who you know is better than what you do. But I don't agree. What you do is better than who you know. If you are patient enough. But some people don't like patient or analogy. Communication skills and leadership skills. When you combine all of these things together, you produce a champion. So at my company, maybe you can pick it up. It's not on this slide. Maybe if you are with your phone after, because you are building a tool and all, even though we have started anyway. So rentizel.com. Now that product is a product of these different things. You have intellect, knowledge and understanding of web technologies, knowledge and understanding of engineering, gotten from school or from elsewhere. School is not the only place where you learn. This is where people get it from. Most of the learning you do in your life will not be from the four walls. Most of them will be from outside the four walls. Then you couple it with skills that will enable that your intellect to have a physical manifestation of the real world. Then you couple it with your uniqueness, with your creativity, with your ideas, and you become a champion. That's exactly how it works. For some people, what you need to do is you need to be balanced. Be balanced. That's one of the things that I don't like about some of the things that are content on social media. There is a need for balance. Now imagine the young man, parent, couples, whatever it is, the audacity, progress, and everything, will sound intellect. He will start with what things are and produce solutions. But now, those things are there, but intellect might be missing. So there is a need for balance. Couple intellect, couple skills, couple everything together, and you produce a champion. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. In fact, a round of applause again. For every single person who does not know, as the flyer, as our banner entails, he is the best graduating student of the 2023-2024 academic session. And so every single advice he gives here is gold. Take it or leave it. Every single thing he said here is true. In fact, I can relate. The very first semester I got my 5.0. Every single thing he said here is what happened. It's more than you actually learning. It's your association. It's more than your association. It's active recall. It's a lot of other things. Please, a round of applause again. Thank you so very much, sir. Thank you so much. And